While it's true police were called to Cameo nightclub nearly 400 times, that number is somewhat inflated. I spent hours drilling into the data today and discovered the actual number of substantive police runs appears to be closer to 110. That's over a time period of 30 months since Jay Rogers got the club's liquor license in October 2014. Substantive runs include police visits that, among other things, ended with arrest or with detectives taking theft reports. One thing to keep in mind is the vast majority of runs took place around or after midnight on Saturday and Sunday mornings. At City Hall, I asked City Manager Harry Black if 110 police runs to a bar in 2.5 years is a lot.
Is this a troubled club?
No, when you look at one particular establishment versus others, I think you have to do that.
For comparison purposes, I looked at calls for service from January 2012, when the bar was called Adonis, to the time Rogers took over and opened Cameo. Based on my analysis, police made about 60 substantive runs to the Kellogg Avenue bar during a 33-month period as Adonis. What that lower figure says about the runs police made to Cameo, ending with Sunday's mass shooting, remains to be seen.
You're always trying to strike a balance. You want to make certain that you're treating everyone the same way. It looks like we're treating them like we're treating everyone else. Again, I don't have all of the details, but based on what I've been told up to this point, I don't sense that there are any significant outliers out there as it relates to this particular establishment.
Now, as we've reported, Cameo's owner, Jay Rogers, has voluntarily surrendered his liquor license, and he plans to close the club on Friday. Reporting live, Todd Dykes, WLWT News 5.
All right, Todd, thanks for the update and the clarification there. After what happened at the Cameo nightclub over the weekend, there appears to be sufficient support now on Cincinnati Council to provide our firefighters with bulletproof vests. Now, they're already in use by 1 in about every 5 firefighters, thanks to some grant money. But in light of increased danger on certain life and death runs, there's a new push now to fully fund vests for every firefighter and EMT. The head of the fire union foresees voluntary use for most runs, but mandatory vest protection in certain situations.
The community's changing, and when we're on the scene of these incidents, especially like with what happened at Cameo or any of these other runs that we make day in and day out, there's multiple shootings yesterday. This is going to be an added layer of protection so that the firefighters and paramedics can focus on treating the patient, treating the victims.
Yeah, Matt Alter says the ones some firefighters already have are being used. Lawmakers will take up the issues of necessity and cost in just a couple of weeks. Cost is going to be an issue here too, as the city has to make some cuts as well. So we'll have to keep you updated on that. We did just get 911 calls into our newsroom. We are combing over those right now. We will have some of them for you. That's tonight at 6 o'clock. So 911 calls that were made early in the early morning hours Sunday morning at the Cameo nightclub. And for the very latest information on the nightclub shooting, go to our website, WLWT.com, or check out our WLWT News app on your phone.
We want to help those who have become so badly addicted. Drug abuse has become a crippling problem throughout the United States.
President Trump vowing to step up efforts to fight our nation's opioid crisis, and we are certainly seeing it here in Greater Cincinnati. WLWT News 5's Aixa Diaz is in Washington tonight with more from the state of addiction.
Cherie, President Trump heard firsthand from people who've struggled with addiction as he launches a commission focusing on the current crisis. President Trump says drug abuse has become a crippling problem in the U.S.
Solving the drug crisis will require cooperation across government and across society, including early intervention to keep America's youth off this destructive path.
At the White House, the president held a listening session with government and private sector leaders and heard from people who've struggled with opioids. A.J. Solomon says 3 years ago he was a homeless heroin addict. Now he owns a recovery center.
Awareness in general is a big piece. Addiction is something that's kind of talked about in the shadows.
Leading the commission is New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, an outspoken advocate for prevention and treatment.
No life is irredeemable, and people make mistakes. We all have. And the people who make the mistakes of drug use, and it is a mistake, we can't throw their life away.
Senator Bob Casey, who held a roundtable with police chiefs on the opioid crisis today, says funding should be the administration's priority.
One of the most important things that I think the president can do is make sure that the opioid dollars that we're
that were legislated on last year and appropriated, that those get out the door, like real fast.
The president says the commission will work with state and local governments, medical professionals, and law enforcement to address the needs of different communities. At the White House, Aixa Diaz, WLWT News 5.
Governor Christie's position on the commission is a volunteer one, and he says he has no interest in having a permanent role in the administration right now. Ohio residents, you only have just a few more days now to register if you want to vote in the May primary that's coming up. The deadline is Monday, April 3rd. That's about a month before the primary. Cincinnati residents have to decide on a mayoral candidate. Secretary of State John Husted says there are more than 300 local issues expected to be on the ballot all across Ohio. New on WLWT tonight, prison officials say a serial killer who admitted to killing dozens of hospital patients here in Cincinnati and in Kentucky has been hospitalized after a prison beating. A prison spokeswoman says Donald Harvey has been beaten badly, or was beaten badly, in his cell on Tuesday in Toledo. He's now listed in critical condition. You may recall Harvey pled guilty back in 1987 to 35 murders. He worked as a nurse's aide and claimed that he was trying to end his patients' suffering. Officials have not said if anyone has been charged with assaulting Harvey. Boy, a gruesome discovery 2 hours north today in Columbus. Human legs were found at a trash facility. Police are now treating this case as a homicide. Someone called police late Tuesday afternoon. There are now no known suspects in the case so far. The investigation is ongoing. Police in Dayton say a shooting that left a 14-year-old boy dead started out as a robbery. Investigators say James Banks was shot multiple times Tuesday night. The 8th grader died at the hospital. 21-year-old Jalen Simmons has now been charged in this case. Police say they're still trying to piece together exactly what happened.
And today was a cool March day across the WLWT viewing area, but see those 70s at the bottom of your television screen there? That could spell trouble for tomorrow, Cherie. I'm tracking the threat for severe weather and what the risks are for us here in the metro.
All right, Kevin, we'll see you in just a few. Well, the days to opening day dwindling down. Now a preview of what you can expect this season. All the new sights and sounds and eats. Mark?
Good evening, Cherie. But first tonight, Hamilton County Commissioner stepping in over a controversial project. I'm Mark Hayes. What city officials say needs to be done. You're watching Cincinnati's WLWT. Stay with us.
You're watching WLWT News 5, leading the way.
Well, you can add a new element now to the battle over the proposed Duke Energy pipeline that's going to go, or would go, right through eastern parts of Hamilton County. Today, county commissioners officially stepped in on behalf of concerned neighbors. WLWT News 5's Mark Hayes is here now to explain. Hi, Mark.
Good evening, Cherie. Hamilton County commissioners unanimously passed a resolution to officially intervene in the negotiations concerning the Duke Energy pipeline. The vote passed 3-0. Commissioner Todd Portune introduced the resolution at today's commissioners meeting. The commission will now ask for a seat at the table during negotiations going forward. He cited the growing opposition to the Duke Energy pipeline. Portune also mentioned the group NOPE, Neighbors Opposing Pipeline Extension, which has been mounting steady opposition to the project. Among the many concerns, safety and property values. The commissioners say they know this pipeline would affect many families.
Hamilton County has harbored concerns about what is proposed, the manner in which it has been proposed, and ultimately what will be developed and the risks attendant thereto.
Now, a state review of Duke Energy's plan is underway. Officials with the Ohio Power Siting Board are looking at the need for the extension. A decision could take several months.